Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to this Sensations English monthly webinar for teachers. Starting shortly, Vicky Bagri will be talking about navigating challenges on English in online English teaching, exam preparation courses, and effective solutions. Good day to you wherever you're joining us from in the world, and welcome to the webinar. Just a reminder that if you're watching this webinar live, a CPD certificate will be sent to your email 24 hours after the webinar. If you're watching the recording, please make a note of your own professional development activity. The webinar will last around an hour and will include time for questions at the end of Vicky's talk, and Vicky will be asking you to get involved during the talk as well. Please place any questions you have in the Q&A box. The Q&A button appears when you move your mouse to the bottom of the Zoom window. If someone's already written the same question, you can click a thumbs up button next to it to move it higher up the list rather than writing it again. And if you need any help during the webinar, please contact me in the chat box. So Sensations English is focused on helping teachers to develop their skills, and we're delighted to be hosting regular webinars for teachers to support quality, evidence-based practice. You can view all our previous webinars on the Sensations English webinar website, including our monthly webinars and our special series on using video and using authentic materials. These recordings all come with the slides from the sessions too, and we hope that they will help you to develop your own practice and expand your use of authentic resources in your classes. Just to tell you a little bit about Sensations English, our lesson resources are a great new advance in ELT content, which we are delighted to offer. We have over 500 videos and news article resources, all at 5 CEFR levels from A2 to C1, and all with ready-made learning activities at each of those levels. They make video and news accessible to all learners and hassle-free preparation for teachers. There are 3 new 5-level resources to use every week, giving you access to the most up-to-date content to use with all of your learners. Our Sensations English Schools edition includes logins for all your students and teachers, a digital teacher gradebook, which lets you organise your students into classes, set tasks and monitor them live, and review your learners' progress over time. To start using this great resource in the Schools edition, just go to the link I'll post in the chat or to the Sensations English website and get in touch. Now to tell you a little bit more about today's speaker. Vicky is an experienced teacher, trainer, executive director, and online IELTS trainer, and regularly delivers education workshops and talks, and is currently writing an exciting IELTS study resource. A TESOL educator, CUP teacher trainer, TOEFL and IELTS and GMAT and GRE lecturer, and a Cambridge English examiner, Vicky also runs the online school Virtual Educators. Vicky, thanks once again for being here, and it's over to you.
Thanks, Adam. Thank you very much.
Oh, and sorry, I did forget to say we're really lucky to have Vicky with us today because she's not very well and she's still come on absolute dedication. She's still come on to give this webinar. So lots of thanks and props to you for that, Vicky, and over to you.
As Adam mentioned, I appreciate if everyone use the chat because I have some questions that we all love to, share our ideas and figure out more about the challenges that we're all dealing with. So that would be my kind of main area that we are going to focus today. As you can see, we are going to overview some of the key topics and areas of the issues that we have when it comes with online exam preparations. And in these webinars, I try to focus on kind of comprehensive guide for teachers who are looking for navigating these challenges and how to tackle these issues we have. And if you have something else from what I'm going to present today, please do share it with me in the chat box. I would love interactive sessions. So to begin with, I'm going to go through the search of online education. which, as you know, it refers to the rapid and substantial increase in the use of online platform and the technology when it comes to teaching and learning, and can be attributed to various factors, as you can see on this slide. The continuous advancement of the digital technologies, internet accessibilities, and also proliferations of smartphones have made online education more accessible and convenient. And also, during the COVID, during the pandemic, it accelerated significantly because it became part of our education, and we had no other choice rather than delivering and conducting the sessions online. Also, flexibility of online education allows the learners to access the content at their own pace and convenience, and also which is, appeals to working professionals, to parents, and those with the very busy schedules. And also it's very cost effectiveness, it's very, and also globalized, enable students to access the courses and the structures from all around the world. So these are some things that we are currently, dealing with, and it's at some point is quite easy, quite, practical for us when especially dealing with international students. But then we done a survey and we figure out teachers mainly divide to one of these categories. And in terms of the problems and challenges we have when it comes to either teach online or get the students prepared for online examinations. Can you please now use the chat box and tell me in which group or category you basically fit in? What was your main issue, or currently your issue when it comes to online teaching, if you do teach online, which I believe most of us do. Let's have a look at the chat, what you do, where you are, and then we can discuss it a bit more. And if it says others, or please mention what are the other issues you have. And if you don't have none, tell us your secret. So just having a look at the chat. So yeah, Gillian, you use the online platform. Okay. That's always been an issue. Others, keeping a student engaged, definitely, yeah, is a challenge. Teaching grammar. Oh, teaching grammar online is a challenge. Almost all of them is a challenge. Evaluating students online. Okay. Do we have more? Student a responsibility. Yes, that's great. So that's good that we are in the same page, because I kind of cover around the same areas and I come up with some solutions for you. So let's have a look in general. What are these challenges specifically for students and then for us as the teachers? So when we look at these students, it's always led to lack of, protected test. In the traditional setting, exams are often protected to prevent cheating. But in online setting, ensuring the integrity of the exams can be more challenging. We might have some technical problems during an online exam, such as internet disruptions, platform glitches, which can disrupt the students' performance. And sometimes at home, the home environments can be full of distractions, so making it difficult for students to focus during the online exam. And also effective time management becomes crucial when taking the online exam, to ensure students complete the test within the allocated time, and also maintaining the academic integrity is essential as well. You know, some students may have maybe tempted to cheat or seek unauthorized assessment during the online exam, and these days with AI become very popular. So it's another issue for us as the teachers teaching or testing the students online. And of course, the remote nature of the online exams can be triggered the test anxiety and stress in some students, you know, which potentially affects their performance when it comes to testing. So, and then when we have a look at the challenges for the teachers, so teachers face these challenges, you know, of ensuring the security mainly and the integrity of the online tests, implementing effective anti-cheating measurements, creating online assessments that are both challenging and, to be honest, fair. It can be a complex task, especially in the mixed group classes when you are having A2 level students with B2 level, you know. And let's not forget that we have to design questions that evaluate students' knowledge and skills effectively. And also us as a teacher, we need to prepare to provide a technical support sometimes to students who encounter issues during the online exam, which can be challenging in the large classes, even though you set up the sessions previously 10-minute or 15-minute prior to the exam. Still, there are students that need extra help. And also communicating the instructions and expectations for online exam clearly is vital. And to ensure that the student understand how to approach these assessments is again become a challenge for us, because especially when it comes to low-level students, that they require a very simple language to be used and to be understood. So it becomes a challenge. And also providing timely and meaningful feedback on online exams can be more complex than what we do in person. You know, in-person assessment, just due to the need for electronic grading tools and platforms, and also the size of the class. And we kind of must consider the last options as accommodation for students when it comes with students with disabilities to ensure that they have equal access to the online exams. So challenges are quite a lot when it comes to teachers, and we need to consider students' challenges as well. So it will be what we are dealing with at the moment. While I was preparing this, I come up with this graphic design that shows the process of conducting an online sessions and managing an online exam, which kind of sums up what we do as a teachers when we are preparing students. So it's a kind of very straightforward process, but at the same time, time-consuming, challenging, and how to basically tackle with these challenges is always a question. So with the main challenges, so we have these challenges I just went through, and then we can call them as a sub-challenges, something that in a way without a proper education, without, you know, doing more Google and search and stuff, we can kind of sort it out. But then when it comes to academic education, adapting the teaching methodology become a challenge. In the context of online education, adapting the methodology normally refer to the process of modifying or reimagining additional teaching strategies and techniques for digital environment. And this challenge involves several aspects, as you can see. And I would go through them one by one. And if you have questions or you are in the same page with me, please use the chat. Teachers who have, let's say, primarily teach in the physical classes and they need to shift their teaching practices to suit to online formats, which includes understanding the functionality of the online teaching platforms, managing digital resources, and also ensuring the effective communication through the digital channels. And as you may know, as you may have experience in online setting, engaging with students can be more challenging than in the face-to-face classroom. And we need to find the way to encourage them to participate, to foster the discussions, and to create an interactive learning environment in which we can use, for example, discussion forums, break down the rooms, which is one of the best features that Zoom has. So you can put the students in a different groups and then you can monitor them throughout there, or use interactive online tools, which I'm going to go through some of them later on. And also the manner in which content is presented may need to change when it comes to online teaching. You know, in online teaching, it involves more multimedia elements such as video. You know, that's why Sensation English is the best platform to use. You want to show them videos and use these videos in the classes. And you're not worried about the level of the video. I mean, finding the video, because it's always a challenge, where to play, how to play it, is it appropriate for the class, is the level, you know, suit my students. But with Sensation English, so you've got all those different levels, 5 CFR levels, you are sure the content is authentic, you know, nothing is out there, nothing is you know, not appropriate for the classes. So it is really good, and I use it in my classes as well. Or sometimes you need to engage the students with other interactive simulations, or engaging them with, you know, visualize them and compare it with the traditional lectures on a whiteboard or the chalkboard that we do, that we teach in the classes. And we must adjust our assessment strategy as well to suit online learning. And as just a suggestion, the traditional in-person exams or quizzes may need to be replaced or supplement with online assessment, like quizzes and written assignment or project that can be submitted digitally. So when it comes to the actual test, the big test, so they're used to it, they know how to do, so it makes the process of doing the test hassle-free, so, and they don't have much difficulty when they are taking the test, and there are less questions, to be honest with you, to ask. And because, you know, when you are in the physical classroom, it is easier to provide them with the personalized attention to students. You know specifically, you can see them and you can interact with them and tell them what they require. But when it comes to online personalization, it requires a different method, such as, for example, one-to-one virtual meetings, or personalized feedback on their assignment, or tailor learning path, you know, based on students' need and the progress that they do and they have. And we need to become kind of proficient with the various online tools. I need to educate myself as a teacher, need to know the different learning management system platforms, whiteboard, you know, different whiteboard are available online, so we can use video conferencing software that are practical when it comes to online teaching, especially with the group classes. And we need to learn how to navigate these tools and leverage them effectively in our teaching. And also, we have different kind of major, I guess, the major challenges managing the diverse learning performances or a style. So it's either performances or a style. So it's just always like in a balance. Because students have varying preferences, and strategies for either acquire the language and the way that they process the information, or when they are in the classing and learning. And these differences in the learning preferences can make the challenges for teachers to cater to every student's needs effectively, and these are some challenges that we always have when it comes to managing these diverse learning preferences. When I say learning preferences, I kind of refer to the different ways in which individuals prefer to learn, and they can include visual learning, those who like seeing things and then they learn better, the auditory ones that they're good with listening rather than other skills basically, or their kinesics, so with the physical interactions and movement they learn better, or sometimes there is a combination of these or other preferences that they have. And some students might prefer reading, while the other may excel in hands-on experiences. And as teacher, we need to recognize and acknowledge these diverse learning preferences in our classroom. And this requires a level of flexibility in the structures that we use, in the methods we use, in the material that we use. And to be honest with you, a one-size-fits-all approach may not work always in online classes. At least it never worked in my classes. And we always need to, as a teachers, we need to consider how to engage different types of learners effectively, and managing this diverse learning styles can be particularly challenging in the large classes, where teachers may have limited time to address individual needs. Strategies such as pair learning or creating small groups can help to address this type of issues that we have. And as I said, we can use Zoom and put them in a different group in the rooms, so it's easy to monitor them, and then that's how you can manage your time. With the flexibility, teachers need to develop an understanding of their students' learning preferences. So that how you do that, you gather the feedback from the students and you become more flexible by adapting your teaching methods and material to their needs. To accommodate this diversity of the learning preferences of the classes, I believe is vital, because that's how it keeps my classes running. My students keeps coming. If I'm working in the online language schools rather than normal schools, so in the online language schools, it's very important that your classes are fully engaged. The students are motivated. They keep coming rather than having a negative feedback or review on your sessions and they just disappear. So to keep them engaged and motivated during the classes is very important, and it's all happens when I grab that feedback from the students, what they like, what type of teaching method works the best in these type of classes. And also, I guess the managing diverse learning style is an essential aspect of having effective teaching, and because it promotes inclusivity and ensures that all the students have the equal opportunity to learn and to succeed, mainly because this is an exam, they have to pass the exam. You don't want any students to fail. Exams these days like IELTS, TOEFL are quite expensive in different countries, so you've got to consider the student's budget as well. You don't want to, basically your student fail, because their failure at the end of the day is yours. And by recognizing and accommodating these differences, we can create a more inclusive, engaging learning environment for all our students. Catering to diverse learning preferences can increase students' engagement. When students receive the information in their preferred format, they are more likely to stay focused, and they find the material relevant. Also, students are more likely to retain the information when it's presented in a way that aligns with their learning preferences. You know, students who are learning in the preferred preferences tend to be more motivated, as they feel a sense of ownership over their learnings, you know, learning process mainly. And also it helps them to motivate students. So motivated students are more likely to complete the assignment, I believe, and to participate actively during the learning process, especially online, is another key factor here in my classes. And of course, inclusivity is important as well, because I need to address these diverse learning preferences to promote inclusivity. I need to ensure that all students, regardless of their learning preferences, have the opportunity to excel in the classes. And that's all I need as a teacher, I believe. So then, with the challenges when it comes to online classes or virtual classes. So what you see in this slide and the next slide are basically strategies that teachers can consider in order to address these challenges while preparing the students for online exam. So I want to go through the challenges with you. If you put a couple of academic challenges, rather than what I just explained, what else do you think it become an issue when it comes to exam preparation, when we want to get them prepared during a course of sometimes intensive courses, sometimes in a long-term courses? What are the other challenges that you face? If you use the chat again, I would appreciate it. Oh, Maria, you use National Geographic. Yeah, National Geographic material resources, they are full of online material. I mean, to be honest with you, most of the publishers these days, they do have online platforms and, you know, material. But the reason I addresses this issue to kind of be solved with Sensation English was because it comes with a different level, 5 CFR level. And if I'm having a mixed classes, I can use the same video for the class. Everybody would understand in their own pace, in their own level. And that makes my job as a teacher much easier in the classes. Can you put some of your other issues that you think, apart from having a diverse, you know, learning, let's go through here, diverse learning preferences or adapting your methodology, what else you are facing with? Any? No? Converting activities online, yes. Or for example, we are very limited when it comes to online teaching, limited physical observation. I don't have that, you know, in traditional classes, in the physical classes, teachers can observe the students, tailor their teaching based on the students' reactions, you know, or responses. But in online classes, it's more like challenging to gauge the students' reactions and adapt the instructions accordingly. Or sometimes on the online classroom, because I'm not there, for example, students cannot ask questions during the lecture easily because you know, they have to interact, they have to use the chat, they have to raise their hand. I might not notice the chat, for example, as a teacher, and I cannot, as a teacher, gauge their understanding through the body language because I'm not there. So how am I going to address these challenges, you know? And also, as I said, one size fits all tools doesn't work in online classes. When it comes to, I mean, some of the online education platforms may offer standardized approaches to content delivery, you know, but again, it's very limited. You don't have that flexibility to accommodate the different learning styles, and teachers often have to, have limited time to interact with the students individually, and that can cause another challenge, you know, to provide the personalized support to address the unique learning needs. But when I'm in the physical classes, it's much easier to provide that feedback. And also sometimes internet is slow, and the connection, the device compatibility, you know, the problems we have that can interrupt my sessions as well. Or I can show you more suggestions, basically what we can use in the classes. And I can see that, you know, when we are in the classes, communications, as Adam put, through the screens is limited to compare to the rich physical classroom environment. That's absolutely correct. And so we are facing lots of challenges, and these would be suggestions that, or what we can do, what is the best way to tackle these problems. And then I come up with some solutions as well, based on the survey we have done. So I'm just going to go through the next slide, basically. So these are the problems that not every teacher kind of like to address it, just because we're very busy, we don't have time to sit down every day, personalize our lesson plan. So what we have, same structure, same, you know, patterns. And that's why you go like, not necessarily addressing to the audience here, but in generally speaking, that's why we have these issues. Why they're not interacting with my sessions, why they're not coming, why do I have a negative feedback? Because I do not customize my lesson plan. My lesson plan is so boring for students that they just get bored and they do not want to follow the same pattern. So this is, I guess, particularly crucial when it comes to online language teaching for several reasons. You know, one of them could be addressing that diverse language levels, accommodating learning preferences, you know, personalizing learning objectives, focusing on the areas of improvement, you know, enhancing the engagement. It also helped me to have a flexible and also pacing and monitoring the progress. So customized lesson plan is very important. As I just like listed for you, you would see it makes a huge difference in my classes. Yes, it is time consuming. Yes, I'm busy with lots of classes. Yes, I don't have time, but surely if I want to have more interactive sessions, if I want to keep this job running online, so I need to be a bit more flexible, a bit more creative, and come up with the different lesson plans. And also, another solution could be when it comes with interactive materials, what is the good thing to use? I'm not sure if you have heard about traffic line assessment. It is an interactive whiteboard, basically lesson example of the self-assessment, a fun way to visualize your students' learning process or achieve learning objectives. Students can use the colored traffic light dock stickers to indicate whether they have reached the lesson objective or not. And they also have to indicate their general feelings or metacognition, you know, on where they think or feel they are regarding to the lesson topics and objective. And this gives you a snapshot of where the students in his or her learning progress. You might find students in need of additional structures or students who need to be challenged, basically. And it's very interactive as well. Student likes it during the online sessions. So this is just one example, which there are more, you know, when you have a look at the online, a lot to find to use in the classes. Or why not to have record a session? It's very important to use a video conferencing for real-time interactions, discussions, and practice for synchronous sessions. And this accommodated different students' schedules, learning preferences, and sometimes you might have still mixed classes. In some of the countries I know, they just like online learning. So some of the students can attend online, some of them can come to the school. So it's always an option, and it's never gonna, vanish. Vanish is going to stay, and that's one of the best way to monitor the students, to make sure they got the same quality of education that you delivered in that sessions, and also help them with their learning preferences as well. And then another solution could be adapting our resources. And it just like adjusting the difficulty of the exercises and the content based on each student performance, providing a personalized learning experience, and it is something that for me as a teacher, yes, again, it's time consuming. I need to spend time to adjust the levels and, make sure in my mixed classes, when I have A1, A2 with B2 level students in the same classes, they all receive, the good quality of the education. Nobody's bored, nobody's behind. So me adjusting that difficulty of the exercises or create some challenges for the other students would always help, which is, again, I can bring Sensation English in again and say they have the platform with the 5 different CFR levels, so that challenge is already there, and they can challenge themselves if they are, for example, in B1 level and they think I want to go a little bit harder in this topic, so they can change the level instantly, and they can try a bit more difficult level, basically, to see what they do in that level. Do they need more improvement in the current level they are, or they can move, for example, forward and continue from that level. And also when you're using videos in the classes or articles, sometimes you just want to do a reading classes, reading, writing, so their material is so good because it comes with that, even on the articles, comes with the 5 different levels, so you show that A1 level students enjoying your online session as much as the B2 level, for example, in the classes. So it's very important for me as a teacher to adjust the difficulty of the exercises and the content based on the students' preferences, and also feedback. So I value feedback more than anything else in my classes, because just I believe it makes a huge difference when it comes to the journey that the student have with me during learning English and do exam preparations. So feedback is always, and also effective feedback, constructive feedback is very important, and I highlight the importance of the personalized feedback to help a student to progress and them effectively in these bullet points. So when it comes to personalized feedback, because it offers specific constructive guidance to students about their strengths and areas that they need to improve, the feedback helps a student to understand their current performance and how they can progress further. Promoting a growth mindset and commitment to the improvement is very important to I plant in my students' head. They need to know, they need to have that commitment, and that's the only way I can basically plant it by feedback, and every student's is unique and may require different kinds of support. So personalized feedback tailors the guidance to each student's individual needs, allowing them to focus on the areas that they need, for example, the most help. And feedback also helps them to reinforce the learning by addressing misconceptions and error promptly. It guides them to correct their mistakes, which sometimes take a long term to retentions of the material, and it helps actually. Also, effective feedback motivates students to continue learning, to striving for excellence. When students see their efforts are acknowledged and guided, they are more likely to stay engaged and more motivated to their studies. That's what I want as a teacher. And it is also help them to identify their strengths, their weaknesses, leading to more profound comprehensions of the subject matter. We can encourage them to think critically, about the work and how they can improve it. They can learn to monitor their own progress, set goals, and make decisions about how these our approaches will help them with their approach to their learning. It cultivates a sense of self-regulations, and independence in learnings. And I guess most importantly, it can reduce the frustrations by pointing out the mistakes and areas that they need to improve, in their constructive manner. It helps students to, instead of feeling discouraged, they are guided on how to rectify their errors. And that's very important when it comes to online teaching. And it's another part of the teaching when it comes to time consuming. It is, especially when you have a large group of students, or especially when you prepare them for the exam, like IELTS exam, or TOEFL. So you need to give them that constructive, effective feedback that they know, with saving them time and pushing them further to improve themselves in the areas that they need, and then they can get the test and pass. So that is from me, and I'm really sorry for my voice. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. If there was any questions, Adam, if you help me with that, that would be great.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you
Thanks.
so much, Vicky, for that. If you have any more questions, please write them into the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen. One from Lutfi Sarat, I hope I'm saying that right, which is observation, and as a result of this, giving feedback is problematic in online teaching. Do you have any suggestions to handle this problem?
So can you elaborate a bit more? Observation in what way, Adam?
So I think what the person means is that making observations within the classroom, like monitoring your students and then giving feedback.
Okay, in general. So I guess when it comes to online exam preparation, and if I have a group of, for example, 6 to 10 students, the best way to monitor the students is to put them in a different rooms, for example, like the Zoom, as I said, or you don't have these features, so you use Team or any other platforms. It's always good to give them the same task. So if I know 3 of them doing the same thing, and they have to write in a chat directly to me, so that's much easier to to kind of control them. So put the students in a group. It always works in the physical classes, and is very practical when it comes to online teaching and also exam preparations, because the main important parts, more than monitoring them while they're doing the task, is more giving them a feedback, see where they are and what they're doing in terms of the mistakes that they are making. If it's exam preparation like IELTS, TOEFL, GMAT and stuff like that, is the class is mainly based on the techniques. So you kind of you're more active in the sessions to compare to your students. Is one of those teacher-centered type of classes, because you have to give them techniques and then you do the example for them, and if there is any questions, so would be addressed in the chat. But if it's just a long-term course that they start with the pre-IELTS courses, and then they are ready, you know, at some point in the future to take the IELTS course and then do the exam. So it's a long-term course. So I would personally put them in a different group and give them a specific task. To, for example, to group A, I task them with, for example, X exercise, group B, Y exercise. So then everybody need to chat me directly. So it's very easy to monitor them. Sometimes, because the class is very interactive, which I want to always have interactive classes, I'll ask them to keep the chat active, constantly ask them questions, write me, do this. And if nobody's interacting, so there's always not punishment, but in a way like, okay, if I see the interaction today during the session, nobody would have extra homework, or nobody would do something, you know, that they don't like mainly do with the homeworks. But I can kind of control them in that regards. So it's kind of easy way when you put them in a group. I hope I could address your question.
Yes, and they say thank you for this detailed and informative answer as well. Then another, just in the chat, we've got a question from Maria. If there are students on different levels, are you on alert or on your guard not to overpraise the best ones?
Yes and no. I mean, if it's because this is exam preparation, so they don't have time, you know, to take their own pace, slow and gradually learn and improve and this. Especially when it comes to IELTS students, that what I'm facing as an examiner and also the trainer shouldn't book their test first and then they remember, oh, I need a preparation. So then they come to us, they have 1 month, for example, time, or even not that. So I kind of praise the good ones in the classes, not over, you know, not exaggerating, but I would praise them because I want to make the others feel like we don't have much time. We got to hurry up. We got to, you know, cut ties some, I don't know, fun time we have, sleep less, and just focus on the preparation. So I kind of do, but I don't exaggerate, you know, because just because this is exam preparation, they don't have time. They have to focus. But if it was online course, I would praise them individually, maybe once in the group, but then more individually to make sure that the student is tracking. But meanwhile, I write to the slow learners as well and make sure they know that they do need more, you know, progress here. But again, individually, that's what I would do.
Thank you, Vicky. Someone's just asked if there would be an access to the recording. Yes, we'll post that on the webinar's website in the next few days. So we'll be up by this time next week for sure. One more question that I've got, Vicky, actually, is that you've made me think about is, and in your role as a school director as well, what support does the management of the school need to give to teachers in these environments?
So personally, I try to always be very supportive to teachers and understand their needs because I'm a teacher myself. So I know the teachers' frustrations, the students' frustrations. So we're trying to provide as many basically platforms and the material as available for teachers to use. Because when it comes to online teaching, you cannot say, I'm just using Zoom and I'm using, for example, National Geography material and I'm done with my session, so I'm all ready. No, you need to be very flexible, use interactive material. For example, we use, as I said, we use Sensations along with the Cambridge material, along with Oxford, different platforms. We have interactive platform and whiteboard in the classes. So I guess when it comes to management, we need to always consider that this is very important to support teachers. And once you got your teachers back, you know, the students are happy, the satisfaction is in the highest, you know, level, and it's bringing more pieces basically for the management and for school as well. But yeah, I guess to not limit ourselves with one or two platform or one or two materials that is just working at the moment. But there might be a lot out there, and there are a lot out there, which if I combine them, that would have a more, you know, interactive sessions and more engagement happens during my session. So I would suggest to support teachers, and that's what I always do, try to do. Maria, thank you very much. I hope my voice get better soon, because it's dreadful. Thank you.
So
thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Just put my camera back on for a second.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Vicky, wonderful talk, especially powering through with being unwell as well.
My pleasure.
I've just put some links in the chat for our different social media channels, and if anyone wants to continue the conversation on this topic, you can comment or reply to a post dedicated to this talk on our LinkedIn, and also post on our Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. The other thing is just to, if I can share my screen very quickly, Vicky.
Sorry, Adam.
That's okay. Just to remind everyone about the resources that you can use from Sensations English that Vicky was talking about. The multi-level element is really great for when you've got any differentiation in abilities within a class, and that could be in terms of different skills rather than just in terms of different level. You can catch up with any of our webinars on our webinars website, sensationsenglishwebinars.co.uk. And please remember to get involved and get in touch on our social media, and come to the next webinar in a month's time, where Fran Watkins will be talking about getting students past the intermediate plateau. And so it will be lovely to see you there.